welcome to the Deep Dive. So today we're going to unpack something really fundamental, I think, to modern success. We're looking at how mastering English, particularly getting to that C1 level, can be this incredible accelerant in your life. And when we say success, well, we're looking way beyond just a bigger paycheck or climbing the career ladder. It's broader. It's about professional achievement, sure, but also deep personal growth and really becoming a more integrated global citizen.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because we often just think of language as, a tool for communication. But English, especially at that advanced C1 level, and just quickly, C1 means you can communicate fluently, spontaneously on complex topics, almost like a native speaker. It actually reshapes how you interact with the whole world.
Okay.
We'll definitely explore the tangible career stuff, yes, but also those profound cognitive shifts, the cultural understanding it brings. And we'll even get into a practical toolkit for C1 learners looking to really refine their global influence.
Yeah, and to make all this real, we've got some incredible stories. We're going to share experiences from 4 people, different corners of the world, who didn't just learn English, they truly leveraged it to build their own unique, really successful lives. Okay, so let's start with where C1 English really shows up visibly. The stuff you see on a CV, maybe even in your bank account. The tangible triumphs, let's call them. In this super interconnected global economy we're in, English isn't just a common language anymore. It's almost become the default operating system, hasn't it?
It really has. It creates this subtle but powerful advantage.
It's definitely the global currency of business. I mean, think about it. Huge multinational companies like Siemens, German engineering giant, right? Or Rakuten, the massive Japanese e-commerce player. They've officially adopted English as their internal company language.
That's not just a minor thing. It's a strategic decision.
Exactly. So for ambitious professionals, English stops being just a nice-to-have skill. It's increasingly becoming a prerequisite, really. Having that C1 level genuinely puts you at the global table. It gives you the ability to actually lead international teams spread across London, New York, Singapore.
Right. You're not just giving instructions.
No. You're building rapport. You're understanding those crucial cultural nuances in, say, high-stakes negotiations. You can confidently drive discussions.
Yeah.
And for the entrepreneurs listening, English is pretty much the language of global capital. Pitching your amazing startup idea to VCs in Silicon Valley or London or Dubai, well, that absolutely demands a masterful command of persuasive professional English.
Precisely. And that directly leads to what economists sometimes call the English premium. You see it in job markets all over the world. Professionals fluent in English often command significantly higher salaries. It just reflects the huge, measurable value companies place on people who can operate seamlessly in that international marketplace.
That makes total sense.
And it goes beyond just business deals. Think about unrestricted access to knowledge. I consider this stat a staggering majority. Something like over 90% of the world's peer-reviewed scientific journals, they're published in English.
Wow. Over 90%.
Yeah. So if you want to be at the absolute cutting edge in fields like science, engineering, medicine, being able to read, understand, and even to contribute to that knowledge in English, it's basically non-negotiable.
Right.
Plus, think about higher education. The world's top universities, Harvard, MIT, Stanford, you name it. Yeah. They offer tons of online courses now. Many are free on platforms like Coursera, EDX, Khan Academy.
I've seen those.
Accessing those world-class lectures, the materials. It all hinges on understanding English.
Yeah.
And even just staying current with industry trends. The most influential business books, tech blogs, industry reports, leadership podcasts, they're overwhelmingly in English first. Getting that info directly gives you a real competitive edge. Yeah. You could spot trends before they even get translated.
That point about information access really paints a powerful picture. It's almost like in the 21st century, trying to operate without English is like using the internet on a really slow, heavily filtered dial-up connection.
Yeah, that's good analogy.
Whereas mastering it, that gives you a high-speed, unrestricted pass to basically the world's entire library of knowledge. It's a genuine information superhighway. Okay, so those career and information benefits, they're huge, obviously incredibly compelling. But maybe the truly profound impact of learning English, especially getting to that C1 fluency, lies in what I kind of think of as the intangible assets. These are maybe harder to measure, harder to put on a CV, but arguably they're even more critical for long-term success and, actual fulfillment. This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
It really does. And something often overlooked is how hitting that C1 level impacts your enhanced cognitive abilities.
Mm.
I mean, learning and actively using a second language. It's literally a formidable workout for your brain.
A workout, huh?
Yeah. Research suggests bilingual people often show improved multitasking skills. Your brain is constantly juggling, switching between two language systems. And that sharpens what psychologists call executive functions, planning, focus, that sort of thing.
Great.
Plus, grappling with new grammar, new vocabulary, it actually enhances problem-solving skills. It fosters more flexible, more creative thinking. You start seeing problems from different angles, almost without thinking about it.
Interesting.
And crucially, it cultivates something called increased metalinguistic awareness.
Metalinguistic. Okay, break that down.
It just means you become more conscious of language itself,
Yeah.
how it's structured, how it works, how it can be used to persuade or inform. And that awareness, it makes you a sharper, critical thinker, and honestly, more effective communicator, even your own native language.
Ah, so it benefits your first language too.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And moving beyond just how your brain works, it digs deep into the development of cultural fluency.
Right. I often say language is like the DNA of culture.
That's a great way to put it.
As you really learn English, you're not just learning words, you're gaining an insider's perspective into all these diverse cultures within the English-speaking world. You start to genuinely get the dry wit of British humor, maybe, or the direct, often optimistic tone in American business culture, or even the sort of laid-back storytelling style you might hear in Australia.
Yeah, those nuances are key.
And that deep exposure, it gives you this kind of superpower, really, the ability to understand and navigate different cultural norms with real ease. In our globalized world, that lets you build deeper trust with international colleagues, market products more effectively across cultures.
And crucially, avoid those costly misunderstandings.
Yeah, it transforms you, doesn't it? From just being like a tourist looking at the global landscape.
To being a citizen, someone who can see the world through more than just one cultural lens. And this touches on something important about the journey itself.
Yeah.
Getting to see one in any language.
Yeah.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Definitely not.
It's a path that's, frankly, paved with frustration sometimes, hitting plateaus, moments of real self-doubt.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there learning anything difficult.
Exactly. But the very act of pushing through those challenges, that significantly contributes to the forging of confidence and resilience. You stumble through conversations, you feel maybe a bit foolish when you can't find the right word, you spend hours studying. That whole process builds immense resilience.
Yeah.
And genuine self-confidence. You gain tangible proof. You see it yourself.
Right.
Proof of your ability to set a really difficult long-term goal and actually achieve it through sheer discipline and perseverance.
That's powerful.
And it's not just confidence in your English skills, right?
Yeah.
It's a deeper belief in your own capacity to learn and grow. And honestly, that resilience, the ability to face a setback, struggle, and keep going, that's arguably the single most important trait for success in pretty much any endeavor.
That's a really strong point. Okay, so let's pivot slightly. For someone listening who is at that C1 level, you've put in the massive effort, you've got the vocabulary, the grammar down, great. But what's the next step? How do you go from proficient to truly becoming an influential global communicator? Where do you focus next?
That's an excellent question, because at this stage, it often stops being about what you say and becomes much more about how you say it. It's about mastering nuance and diplomatic language.
Okay, nuance and diplomacy, tell me more.
Well, direct translation from your native language, it can sometimes sound quite blunt, maybe even rude in English, especially in professional settings. Truly effective communicators use what we call hedging language. It softens statements, shows politeness, makes things more diplomatic.
Hedging. Like, give me an example.
Okay, so instead of saying directly, that's a bad idea, which can shut down conversation.
Right, sounds harsh.
Yeah. You might say something like, I'm not entirely sure that's the most effective approach. Perhaps we could explore some alternatives. See the difference?
Yeah, much softer, more collaborative.
Exactly. Or instead of demand like, I need this by Friday, try phrasing it as a request. Would it be possible to have this by Friday? It would be a great help for the project timeline.
Got it. Politeness and framing.
Precisely. And another crucial aspect is paying attention to register.
Register.
Yeah, the difference between, say, the casual English you'd use with friends versus the more formal, precise language you need for a business proposal or a formal presentation. Being able to shift between those registers effortlessly, that's a real hallmark of mastery.
That formal-informal switch is definitely key. And speaking of mastery, embracing idiomatic English seems absolutely vital too.
Oh, definitely.
Idioms are like the cultural shorthand of a language, aren't they? These little phrases that unlock deeper meaning once you get them.
They really are.
Yeah.
And using them correctly signals a very deep, almost near native level of understanding.
Right. Though I should probably add a quick word of caution here.
Good point.
Using idioms incorrectly can cause instant confusion or just sound weird.
Very true. Stick to the common ones first.
Yeah, so focus on learning common, useful ones, especially ones you hear in professional contexts, like to be on the same page.
Classic. Means everyone agrees or has the same understanding.
Right. You might hear, let's have a quick sync just to make sure everyone's on the same page before the client call.
Perfect example. Or to think outside the box.
Meaning think creatively, unconventionally. This problem needs us to really think outside the box.
Then there's to touch base.
Just means make brief contact, catch up. Let's touch base next week to see how things are progressing.
And maybe to go the extra mile.
Oh, I like that one. Doing more than what's required. She always goes the extra mile for her team. Useful stuff.
Absolutely. But beyond just the words you choose, even nuanced ones, there's something even more fundamental, I think, and that's the power of active listening.
Listening, often overlooked.
Hugely undervalued. Success often isn't just about how eloquently you speak. It's about how effectively you connect with others. And active listening is crucial for that connection. It means you're not just sitting there waiting for your turn to talk.
Guilty sometimes.
We all are. But it means truly absorbing what the other person is saying, processing it, and making them feel genuinely heard.
So how do you do that practically?
Well, try using clarifying phrases. Things like, so if I'm understanding you correctly, the main challenge is,
Okay.
or could you maybe elaborate on that point about the budget?
Right, showing you're engaged and want more detail.
Exactly. And also asking open-ended questions. Instead of, did you finish the report, which just gets a yes or no.
Right.
Ask something like, what were the key findings in the report? That invites a much richer discussion. When you become a really active listener, people feel heard, they feel valued. And that forms the absolute foundation of any strong professional relationship.
Okay, this is all great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's maybe move from the concepts to reality now with some of those stories you mentioned. People whose lives were genuinely changed by English.
Yeah, let's do that. These really bring it to life.
Okay, first up, Lena. She was a brilliant software developer in Kyiv, Ukraine. Really talented coder. But she had global ambitions. She knew her coding skills were top-notch, but she needed that linguistic bridge, right?
Exactly.
So she dedicated serious time, evenings, weekends, to perfecting her English. She even joined Toastmasters to work on public speaking.
Smart move.
And devoured tech podcasts to really nail the specific jargon and nuances used in places like Silicon Valley.
Right, getting the industry language down.
Yeah.
So her big opportunity came when her company partnered with a U.S. firm. Now, her colleagues, technically very capable, but they often struggled on the daily video calls. Their English was, functional, but it wasn't fluid. There were hesitations, sometimes misunderstandings.
I can picture that. Awkward pauses.
Yeah. But Lena, she's shown she could explain really complex technical architecture with total clarity. She could effortlessly understand the American team's jokes, engage in that crucial small talk before meetings. And importantly, she could confidently but politely challenge an idea or ask for clarification without causing offense.
That diplomatic skill we talked about.
Precisely. She quickly became this indispensable bridge, linguistically and culturally absolutely crucial for the project's success.
And the payoff.
Dramatic. She was quickly promoted to team lead, partly because she could smooth over misunderstandings and build real rapport between the two teams.
Nice.
And then, just 2 years later, the U.S. company offered her a senior position with full relocation to San Francisco.
Wow.
Her technical skills definitely got her in the door, no question.
Sure.
But it was her masterful English communication that really propelled her to the top. It genuinely led to a whole new life for her.
Incredible story. Okay, next up. Carlos, a social entrepreneur from Colombia. Carlos was super passionate about conservation, the amazing biodiversity in his home region near the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta.
Beautiful part of the world.
Absolutely. And his dream was to start a sustainable eco-lodge, something that would provide local jobs and fund vital reforestation work. But he knew, realistically, he needed international eco-tourists to make it viable. The local market just wasn't big enough.
Right, so he needed a global reach.
Exactly. And he strategically used his advanced English to build that dream from scratch.
Oh, so?
Well, he created this really persuasive website and a compelling blog, all in English, vividly describing the unique experience of staying at his lodge.
Okay, direct marketing.
Yeah. And he built a crucial global network by actively participating in international sustainable tourism forums online, connecting with potential partners and customers.
Using the web.
But most critically, he wrote a complex, detailed grant proposal to the World Wildlife Fund.
Ah, that takes serious language skill.
Totally. A document that would have been basically impossible without his high-level English. And guess what?
He got it.
He got it. It provided crucial seed funding.
Fantastic.
And today, his Eco Lodge is thriving, hosts guests from Europe, North America, Australia all the time. He even gets invited to speak in English, of course, at international conferences on ecotourism.
That's wonderful.
So for Carlos, success wasn't about leaving home. It was about using English to build a bridge that brought the world to his home, allowing him to protect it.
A powerful example of using English for local impact. Okay, who's next?
Let's talk about May, a top university student from Beijing. She won a scholarship for a master's degree in English literature at the University of Edinburgh. Great achievement.
Definitely.
She arrived with solid C1 English, probably assuming, I've got this covered.
Right, feeling pretty confident.
Right. But she quickly realized that academic success, especially in a humanities field like literature, needed more than just understanding the lectures.
The seminar discussions.
Exactly. In her first few seminars, she felt, pretty intimidated. Native speakers were confidently debating complex literary theories.
Yeah, that can be tough. Fast-paced, lots of implied knowledge.
For sure. But instead of retreating into her shell, she decided to lean in, as they say.
Good for her. How?
She put in extra hours studying the cultural context behind the texts. She joined study groups to practice discussing ideas. And she actually found that her unique perspective, coming from China, was really valued by her professors and her classmates. It added a richness they didn't have.
That's often the case, isn't it? Diversity of thought.
Totally. So she didn't just understand English, she actively learned the specific language of academic debate, mastering phrases like, "That's a valid point, but have you considered?" Or, "To build on what Sarah was saying," that kind of discourse.
Right, the specific tools for that environment.
Yeah. So by the end of her degree, May wasn't just a top student on paper. She was a confident, articulate, culturally savvy global citizen who had truly lived in Scotland, soaked up the culture, not just studied there.
A much deeper transformation. Love that. Okay, one more.
One more. Fatima, a freelance journalist from Egypt. Fatima was working as a journalist in Cairo, but her big dream was to write for major international publications, the kind you see everywhere. BBC, New York Times, The Guardian.
Big ambitions. Highly competitive outlets.
Extremely. So she got really methodical. She dedicated herself to analyzing their distinct writing styles.
Okay, studying the craft.
Exactly. Took online courses specifically on pitching to international editors, meticulously perfected her pitch, that short, compelling summary of a story idea.
That's crucial. The pitch is everything.
It is. And after inevitably facing many rejections,
Part of the process.
she finally landed a commission. It was a piece about Cairo's booming tech startup scene.
Interesting angle.
Yeah, and it required interviewing quite a few international entrepreneurs who were based there or visiting.
Okay, so her English needed to be sharp for interviews.
Absolutely. And her fluent, nuanced English. It allowed her to build genuine rapport really quickly with these founders.
Build trust.
Yes. And get those insightful, probing quotes that maybe another local journalist, less comfortable in English, might have missed.
Those quotes make the story.
They do. And today, Fatima is a respected, regular contributor to several major international news outlets. She's telling vital stories from the Middle East to a truly global audience.
That's fantastic.
So for her, English wasn't just a language. It was really the microphone that made it possible for her unique voice and perspective to finally be heard on the world stage.
Wow. 4 really different stories,
Yeah.
but all pointing to the same power of English.
Exactly. So wrapping things up, can learning English make you more successful? I think the evidence we've discussed today is, overwhelmingly clear, isn't it?
It certainly seems that way.
It provides that tangible economic edge in our connected world. It grants you that almost unrestricted access to the vast majority of human knowledge. But perhaps its true power is even more profound, more transformative. It builds cognitive strength. It cultivates that deep cultural understanding. And maybe most importantly, it forges that invaluable, hard-earned, resilient self-confidence that comes from tackling and conquering a truly monumental long-term challenge.
Yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah,
especially for you listening, if you're already at or near that C1 level, you've done the incredibly hard work. You've essentially built this powerful engine.
right.
Now is really the time to use it. Don't just let it sit there. Think of your English not just as a subject you studied, but as this dynamic tool you can actively wield every day.
Wield how?
Well, use it to build a bridge to a colleague halfway across the world. Use it to access an idea online that could fundamentally change your career trajectory. Use it to share your unique story, your perspective, with a global audience, like Fatima did. Or sometimes simply use it to connect with another human being on a deeper, more meaningful level.
That's beautifully put.
Because ultimately, the success that English can bring, it isn't some passive gift you just received by reaching C1. It's an active opportunity. Yeah. It's an accelerant, as you said at the start, a catalyst for whatever you choose to pursue.
Right. It's the fuel, maybe, but you still have to drive the car.
Exactly.
And when that powerful accelerant, that fuel, is combined with your ambition, your unique talents, and your hard work, English can truly help you achieve whatever is your own unique and profound definition of a successful life.